Well, greetings, hello, and welcome back again. I'm ImperialJedi, and today we find ourselves over in our Harbour area, which I thought would be pretty appropriate to get a video out before the actual Sunset Harbour DLC comes out, relating to, Harbour and industry. So, I did a little bit of stuff on the stream, a hint of what we're trying to do over here. It's kind of cool, actually, so far. A lot of custom assets, so if you're a vanilla player and you're wondering where the heck all this stuff comes from, definitely it's coming from the workshop. But not impossible to make some stuff in vanilla. Especially if you've got the Industries DLC for some of the oversized buildings, but let's just kind of see what we can do here. These things, amazing, love them. A lot of these items here are the Harbour Pack by VIP. So if you just search the workshop for VIP, you'll see that pop up. Some cool buildings. This is something different, but let me show you the other VIP stuff here. I think I mentioned it before, he's the one that did the bridge. So that's the bridge. We're gonna put this over here too. It's kind of like a cool distribution center. And it's modular, so you can make it as long as you want. So what do we got here? Where's my end piece here? So let's put that down. Right, and in my mind, you know, like industry, freight, that kind of stuff, like land value and everything, it's you know, it's very inexpensive to buy a lot of space over here. Especially if we're kind of continuing with our story, how, you know, maybe people moved out from, you know, downtown. So this could be the new forever home for some industry, so they invested a lot of money. So it is large and in charge, and we're expecting a lot of freight to come through here. We're already planned. You know, we got a cool American-style junction over here. This kind of stuff has to be done with traffic president. And they're not even behaving, so shame. Shame on you, bad truck. I still got to go through and fix a little bit more of this. I started with the cross junction over here, as you can kind of see. I'm tempted to put a timed traffic light in here. I just don't have the best of success with doing those, especially on camera, so I don't know, I might hold off. I don't think this is bad or anything, though. I just feel like when the lights cycle, though, it's like, oh, that got lucky. Like, both of these should be green at the same time when everything else goes red. I think it's actually doing that on its own, funny enough, though. Anyway, my thought process, especially near an industry, right, is you want to have really quick access to the highway. We're going to try and keep it separated from just the regular traffic so they don't get bogged down with each other. Until you start producing a lot of the goods locally, a lot of the raw materials and whatnot are actually going to be brought in from the region. So it's good to have, like, you know, a port, maybe a cargo hub in terms of like an airport or rails. So you can kind of bring a little bit more in from the region at once without having to really bog down the roads too much. So it'll kind of be all things together here. We're going to keep this working as a standalone. I'm actually going to do a little bit of terraforming right now and bring in a little bit more of the rail. Give ourselves a bit more of a kind of like, I don't know, rail yard over here too. Drop down the cargo rail station. And I don't know, this spot here, I really like it, but I'm actually tempted to maybe make this into just one giant rail yard. I'm starting to think there may not be enough room to turn a train around in here. I don't know. Maybe if we put a station right here, I don't know. Let's see how it unfolds. I might plop one down, but we're just trying to go for some fun over here. So if we do end up filling it in, it'll be kind of with the custom assets here. I still need to put like a gate and stuff, but kind of thought maybe this was like a little work site. And maybe some friends own a business together. Bought some trucks, you know, the call center's here. We've got some extra trailers hanging out. We're gonna have to put a fence in here to kind of make it so that no one can steal our trailers. Yeah, you know, sorted trucks. And we got some towing stuff. Maybe we had a breakdown on site. Or maybe just save gas, right? Carpool together, right? Yeah, so we've got some cool vibes happening over here. So more of just that happening in the big picture. And I gotta put some like cranes and whatnot and make it seem like this is a loading unloading area. And yeah, just for fun. I don't know. A lot of one-way tracks with trains do end up going through here. We can kind of like pick and plan the route. We'll put static stuff down where no trains will go. So like, yeah, part of me does want a train through here. Oh boy. Okay, let's do the terraforming. Let's just see how this naturally unfolds. So my number one piece of advice, if you are going to terraform, is definitely save before you do. And if like you want to terraform, like do that first, you know, like don't spend like 20-30 minutes detailing just to have it all like washed away and destroyed, right? So let's terraform first. Maybe not too much at once. Another thing to keep in mind, which I already took a look out for, is just plan where your boats are going to be driving naturally. Right, so if I bring Earth all the way out to here, that will look silly. Because the boats might, you know, hop right up over to that, right? So, again, you know, don't spend so much time, right? Like, you know, detailing, making this perfect area, only to have to check later that it interferes with a shipping route, right? So armed with that knowledge, we can only go out just a little bit, but that gives us a chance maybe to have a like a little pier that comes out to about here, go 3 or 4 tracks wide with a with the cargo station. And you know, think of water as kind of like a slow-moving jelly in this, and then displacement is a very real thing. So picture this like a big bathtub. Even though we were terraforming, that's like us dropping a big stone, right? And so you can kind of see the jelly and the waves and everything like that. So we're probably most likely going to have some big waves crash over the shore here. So just kind of be prepared for that. And of course, your poor computer is going to be like trying to recalculate everybody's route, all the vehicles getting washed away. So just you know, be prepared. And if your computer is maybe not like top end of the line, don't maybe terraform too much at once. Otherwise, you risk kind of maybe getting a little bit of a system error crashing, RAM problems. I'm not really worried about the flooding, just because I've done this so many times, right? First few times I did this, I was like, oh, holy hot dog, we were in trouble. And then we're probably going to line this with a key wall when it's all said and done. And that'll be a little bit easier to make that a little more uniform, because the key walls like to go in nice and straight. And then I'm also using key anarchy. And I just also, with the last, not the last episode, the episode before, guys, I got so many people in the comments, apparently my pronunciation, like with, was it query? People think I'm like asking a question. That's a query. I query a question, right? A quarry or a query? Wait, no, I don't know, that's not what I want. What did I say before? I think I said quarry? I don't know. Potato, potato, right? One of those kind of things. Also, I'm very famous for getting those, like, I don't even know what they're called. But those, like, those sayings wrong, you know? Yeah, the irony of that, too. I can't even think of what it is. I know I'm getting it wrong, though. English, what a complicated language. Alright, so I need that to be just wide enough to get the seawall in, as well as some tracks. I'm kind of thinking we'll break away from here, and we'll come in 3 or 4 wide, and then come on down through here, and then end. And then we'll have some fun switching. You know, maybe a train comes through, maybe not. Might be static stuff, but yeah, we'll probably have 1 train actually. All right, well, let's start piecing. Flooding not too bad. If we really wanted to, we could put down from the Natural Disasters DLC. Get ourselves one of the pumping buildings. Oh, that's over in the water, of course. Looks kind of cool in your industrial areas as well. But if you're playing with the disasters on, when a disaster strikes with flooding or any of that kind of stuff, these things here are going to dispatch little trucks that go out and just kind of suck up the water. Let's look at this all working. Bring some power over and we'll see it in action. But yeah, I think Natural Disasters DLC gets kind of like knocked on the most. Everyone's like, oh, you can avoid it. I don't think it's avoidable. I think it's a fun one to get if it goes on sale especially. And then for me personally, like I was saying before, I use a lot of the just the assets. Like blowing stuff up is fun, right? But it's kind of heartbreaking when you spend like hours on a city or area just to have it kind of like decimated by a meteor, you know, a few minutes later, right? And some of those things are very hard to recover from. So sure, if you're looking for some memes, why not, right? Or maybe if you want to blow out some steam after you're done building, save it, blow it up a little bit, but yeah, I don't have the heart to play with disasters on anymore. It's just too nerve-wracking. Little plaza over here, just to kind of spread the power. Keep this area feeling kind of fresh too. Yeah, in terms of our buildings, right, we're gonna drop down a lot of Rico. I'm gonna be using some of these modular factory pieces. We'll put down some of these distribution centers, you know, freight terminals. Got one right there even. A lot of these oversized buildings. We use that in the small town. And then we'll surface paint. We'll put down some more of these, like, you know, freight yards. Put in the detail in. Get everything kind of talking together. These are really cool. Actually, over in that little loading unloading thing, it's part of a modular piece here. So we get pretty creative and maybe put down a whole bunch of these. Tie that in with the freight center. Yeah, I feel like these days with the game, you know, if you can kind of see in your mind's eye, you can do it. Obviously, there's a little bit of limitations here and there, of course, but for a game this old, I think we're doing pretty well. Yeah, I guess the power going too. My poor computer, I'm really pushing it with all the mods and assets. I always hear it in the music when get the stutters. Okay, let's try our hand at the rail here. You know, in the perfect world, I would come in and we'd have a, oh, the word's gonna come to me. we would have, why am I can't thinking of this? Words are very tough for me today. Yeah, in the perfect world, we'd come in with the rails and do a one-way loop. Wow, I almost lost my entire train of thought there. I just don't think it's feasible today, unfortunately. So we'll come in and we'll have a terminal. And maybe behind the station is where we can have a few extra of these dead rails, and we can put some static props over there. And it looks like we're a little bit crooked, so we can obviously fix that when the key wall and everything goes in. Probably do that now, actually. So let's extend enough that we can get one more set of rails going on the outside too. Just the more rails, the better. And let's be real, you know, freight yards have like sometimes like 16 tracks wide, right? Again, I'm on that weird angle. There we go, that's better. You know, I think what it is the squared off part is in line with the map and the symmetry and the grids, whereas my city is just ever so slightly off of that. So thank God for mods, otherwise this would be very challenging. Okay, so more of that displacement, right? Think of us as dropping this in the bathtub. Okay, so luckily we can line ourselves up, make this nice and straight with that. Key anarchy, and then we're gonna lower the heights. And then we're gonna terraform and push this in. And you know, the terraforming, not an exact science. Sometimes you have to delete the key wall and put back in smaller segments, or maybe flip the direction of which you put it in. So just, you know, pack your patience, you got it. And right now, we're just grabbing the nodes. I'm holding down Shift. We're using the Move It mod in a second here. And we're just going to align all of our heights to match the height of the harbor. Cool. Now, this has given us a little bit more space as well to, oh, it's one of those loud commercials. It's very long. I think I did find that sweet spot with the, with the audio level versus the music, but like when I'm recording, I hear it different, and it just seems to get me. I don't know. Okay. Let's listen to her for a split second here. But yeah, key wall is in. Let's do a little bit of terraforming now. Also excited for the new Sunset Harbor radio station. I kind of want us to run into that terraforming problem so I can kind of show you what to do when it happens, but I actually have a video over on the City Skylines official page that kind of shows how to do sunken highways. That kind of deals with that a bit. Fun little plug for them. But yeah, this basically gives us some room now for the Sunset Harbor DLC stuff, so we can maybe put a fishing dock in here. Maybe we can put the fishing stuff in this little bend right here to make it seem like it's still part of the port area. But, you know, we have the polluters over here, the fishing home base here, and then maybe the fisheries, you know, head out this way. Yeah, but kind of see, I'm actually very curious to see how, like, we're going to update and integrate the DLC into the older maps. And I'm really, really hoping for a fast turnaround in regards to mods and assets. But of course, that's why we have our new Let's Play that's about to be released. Very, 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 very excited for that. And that's going to be completely vanilla. And, you know, I've talked about it before, so a little bit of a broken record here, but I've just been, like, way overdue to do a massive vanilla Let's Play that just kind of, like, covers all the DLC. You know, so can we build a university campus with the concerts next to a national park that has a really cool industrial, you know, landscape right in the background with farms? Of course, we can do it all. That's the beauty. We got some content creator packs as well. So we can do a little high-tech business park. We can do some art deco retro downtown things. You know, we can do the chirpy space launch site. We got it all. We got some free DLCs you guys might not even know about. I think it's called Pearls from the East. That's a free DLC. Match Day, that's another free DLC. I think we talked about that one before. The game is cool. A lot to it. And I think, yeah, the more you play, the more you learn. And you know, I'm 4,500 hours in, which is crazy. And I'm still learning stuff that's new. And it's like every time I play the game, it's almost like I just, you know, reach a new height. I just have so much more fun than the time I had before. And the time before I had so much fun. And it's like the more fun you have in this game, the more you want to play. And the more you play, the better you get. And the better you get, the more fun you have. And the more fun you have, the more you want to play. So it's kind of a vicious cycle, right? This kind of fits like the addiction model, it feels like. Especially with that like reward. When you do well and you see like traffic, you know, start to improve like right before your eyes. Like that's satisfying. I remember when I first got this game, I was staying up till like, you know, 2, 3, 4 in the morning, just to finish what at the time was like, you know, if I were to look back on it, I'd be like, oh my god, this is horrible, you know? But in the heat of the moment, that intersection that kept me up till 2 or 3 in the morning, like that, I would give anything to go back to that moment, you know? Like the early days of Skylines, like when you're a new player in this game and everything is like fun and you're discovering just like everything, like, oh my goodness. Guys, like show this to your friend or your parents or someone, like play this game with someone new. Pass on your skills, you will have the world of fun. And it's like the most multiplayer single player game ever. Someone in my Twitch chat said that. I totally forget who it is. Maybe you're watching this video now, but it was just like, yeah, it totally is the case. You know, this game would be fantastic as multiplayer, but like, it kind of is already. You know, we're doing it already all together. Okay, so let's come in here with the curve. It'd be kind of cool to go into the yard to the right as well. Yeah, we're definitely gonna do that. I highly, highly, highly doubt the trains would spawn, but it would be absolutely wild just for the sake of like maybe like a little shunter. If we had a small cargo train that would sometimes pop up going from here to a cargo station like right here. I don't know why, that would just totally make my day. I do have some custom train assets too, and I have the, I don't know what the spawning rate is, but like some small shunters and like single engine trains will spawn and go between stations. Another great plug, fun game, Transport Fever. If you like the train stuff, I've made some of those jokes in the past too, check it out. I'll be doing some videos in that game, I don't know when, but like shortly. Shortly coming soon, you know? The ever popular coming soon trademark. Just time. Time is the enemy. Got more of it on our side though, so let's make the best of it. Okay, so I'm probably not going to be able to realistically finish what we're working on right now, harbor-wise. I'm going to just kind of jump around a lot, though, and just get a lot just done. So you guys, again, just for inspiration, you can see, like, my thought process when it comes to doing harbor stuff. This is definitely going to be, you know, like, again, this city we're going to work on for months. Like, you know, dare I say even a year, right? Like, where's the rush? Where are we going? We got nowhere to be. The only thing that's going to happen, maybe, is that my computer one day is going to be like throwing in the flag, being like, no, we're done here. But who knows? Maybe a computer upgrade just to keep this going. But I really want to have like just a few like masterpiece cities, where like, you know, when it's all said and done, the city just looks like it's something out of like a, you know, out of like a commercial, or something that the City Skylines people maybe like made for like City Skylines, the movie, right? We make the official trailer, something like that. I want those kind of vibes. And I think, like, you know, maybe this is the city, maybe we're getting close. And then I want to, kind of like right on the heels of that, I want to do another big city that is kind of a copycat of the city of Toronto. I see a lot of influence in here. I've tried a few times in the past, and it just, you know, wasn't the right time. Either the mods just, you know, didn't quite offer what I wanted. My computer just wasn't quite there either. But, you know, with recent things like the FPS booster mod, I rarely talk about that. I'm actually running that one. It's a great mod. It does actually work. I thought it was a meme. Depends on your system configuration. It's different for each person, but you may get an extra 10% frames. And for a game that, you know, you're kind of like rocking like 20 frames at a time, like that's a big number. I will take an extra 10% of frames. Even if it's 2, like I will literally take them. Every frame counts when it comes to this game here. Just in case the trains do come, I don't want this to be like the tightest turn. So let's widen that. Yeah, so on our little agenda, just before we run out of time here, I'll try and keep us maybe around 30 minutes again. Let's just put in a little static rail yard so you kind of have an idea of how that's done. And I'm going to do maybe like my own little mini version again of this. So you can kind of see like, you know, the detailing, the planning, the plopping, hopefully some of the thought process. I feel like I'm getting better with the thought process too. I'm definitely not an expert. I don't want to claim to be. All of this is just kind of like, you know, I'm a hobby enthusiast is the best way to describe it, right? As a kid, I loved model trains. I still do. You know, I loved Lego. I used like in my imagination in my head to have these like grandiose cities, even though they looked like, you know, just a pile of Lego on the floor with like a model train set. But that was it. We were doing this. And now we have a game to kind of like digitally do it. It's kind of cool. So you get like nostalgia. You get like a lot of fun stuff from this game. And I don't really think I'm like a city planner or anything, but city planning is very fascinating to me now. Will that be a job? No, I don't think so. I have to go to so much school for that, right? And then what do you do as a city planner? You make like one intersection and that's like your life's career. That's not enough for me. I gotta build a city. Can't really do that these days. But all this is kind of cool. You know, maybe I'll just be a consultant one day for the city or something like that, or I doubt it, but... So yeah, kind of on that same thought process, right? Like, what I really do want to recreate the city of Toronto. There's a lot of assets, as you can see. I'm using tons of them for this particular build right now. And it'd just be really fascinating if we actually recreated parts of the city, and then like traffic and like, you know, people behavior was the same as real life. And then maybe we could even find like an actual solution to something. Like, that would kind of blow my mind, you know? Maybe go into like city council and just kind of just sit down and be like, listen, this is going to be the most preposterous thing you've ever heard, but hear me out. Can we change this to a 3-lane? You know what I mean? It's something like that. And then change that intake to be this. And I want some traffic engineer to be like, by God, he's done it. You know, just, that's it. Have my day in court, or whatever you want to call it. That's cool. More interconnectivity. Kind of makes sense for this. You come in, you can leave. And so yeah, let's just do a little rail thing in here. Fun plug, I love the Surviving Mars soundtrack. If you have not played Surviving Mars, I have no idea why I don't have videos. It's a challenging game, it's a really fun game. I've played it on stream. I just never really got good enough or like confident enough to kind of make a video where I was like, yeah, I'm good at it, you know? But it is such a gem of a game. It aged so beautifully. The quality of life updates they did were just like, incredible. Especially those, you know what I'm talking about, who've been playing from day one. And I have no idea why, but it's just the game just did not really do too well on launch. For some reason, people were expecting kind of like a copycat of this, but on like Mars. I thought that too, right? And then when the game came out, I was like, this is so much cooler. And then the general consensus was like, okay. And I was like, what? Yeah, it's aged nicely, so that's also just on my list. My big list of just games that if we had, you know, all the time in the world, and maybe over the next year, just, you know, I feel like I'm in this for a long haul. Games I want to play, I got some space-based ones. I want to do Astroneer, playthrough of that, build some fun stuff, explore the universe. I want to do a kind of a tutorial, like, focused Let's Play on Stationeers, which is an incredibly complex, awesome fun game. It's basically like Minecraft in space, and it's on like super hard survival mode. So like physics and whatnot are important. Like you have to build a habitat that's like, you know, like enclosed. You got to like smelt gases. You got to do temperatures. A lot of automated processes. Very complex game. I love it. I would love to do a playthrough of Firewatch. That'd be kind of cool too. Maybe Witcher. Yeah, a lot of games. I don't know why we're talking about this, but just kind of expect a lot more on the docket, I guess. Let's stick to Skylines now, though. I don't know why we're talking. Anyway, I guess if you're in this for the long haul, just expect a lot of variety. With, of course, Skylines, and then this particular city here being kind of like, you know, forefront for a while. Oh, okay, so see, this is kind of stuff we gotta make sure we're keeping an eye on early. It's good that we see this now. This is an easy fix. Because imagine we had gotten as far as detailing, how frustrated we'd be, right? So important that we found that now. Zero need to panic. And we'll just push that back in. And if we want, we can even do another separate key wall here. So let's maybe try that. Just so it's in line with the harbor here. Yeah, again, this just kind of further reinforces my point from the beginning here. Like, don't go nuts with your detailing and whatnot until you're certain that this kind of stuff is functional. And I'm telling you from absolute experience, I've spent hours doing this, only to press play to see that happen. So, you know, I would just detail on pause, right? Okay, I feel like that needs to be a little bit lower. Or maybe that needs to be a little bit higher. Yeah, let's do that. Just slightly raise the seaport up. Okay, let's push away the dirt, and I think we should be okay here. And then let's do again static rail yard. Not as much room. Maybe we can have one train that kind of breaks into the 3 here, so we have like a loading unloading. And by the way, this is the extra landscaping tools. I may have mentioned it before in another video. It's by Bloody Penguin. He does a lot of quality life improvement mods for the game. So generally speaking, if it's made by Bloody Penguin, you can trust it. Even some of the far-fetched ones where you're like, are you sure this is a mod? It's definitely a mod. And his name, too, is very, you're like, what? Bloody Penguin? Awesome guy. Very, very nice guy. Amazing for the community. You know, so something just like this, right? You know, if we had a crane or something like that, right? It's plausible. I could believe that. And you know, if ever you're stuck for this kind of stuff, just use like Google Maps, right? How do real life ports look? I'm trying to make this off the top of my head, which is why sometimes things don't quite feel like the right way. I don't want to say it's like cheating or anything using Google Maps, but sometimes I'm just kind of curious to see what I might come up with first, and then it's maybe, you know, it's fun to improve on it, right? Sometimes it's cool to make mistakes, but then you see where things went wrong, and you know, you can pass on that information that we learned. I think we kind of learn best through mistakes. And sometimes, you know, that kind of just puts our ego in check, right? You think you know one thing, and then you go ahead and try it, and then boom, fall flat in your face, right? But that's good for you sometimes, right? Helps you grow. You shouldn't be thinking that you know it all. Not a good way to go about things. Okay, so just really quick, let's go over some static stuff here. So you'll want to Find It mod. Makes it pretty easy to download and find stuff, of course, right? So a lot of the things I've downloaded that are train related are actually from Bisquicklehausen. Very fun name to say. BSQ. How do you say his name? Bisquickle. Yeah, I already spelled it wrong. It's a mouthful. Does he have it over here? No. But he's an awesome guy too. Makes a lot of great assets and videos. He's actually the voice of a lot of the new Harbour DLC stuff right now. But yeah, so we're searching for things. He makes them in the workshop. We've got the prop line tool on, so we're gonna switch over to our straight. We're going to turn on the anarchy that's within the mod itself. And I'm also going to turn on prop and tree anarchy. So we've got that now on over here. We've got this one on. I don't think we need to adjust our spacing just by default for the trains. And it's just as simple as this. We're just drawing that out. I'm still clicked down here so we can keep going, but let's switch the model. What are we left with here? Let's take a look. See how simple that was? And then variety is the spice of life, right? We got container yard here, container here. Let's mix them up. Lots of colors, lots of fun stuff, right? And of course, these containers, what do? They go on trucks, they go on trains. That's your goods going around, right? They go on container ships, easy peasy. What do? You buy these, make yourself a, you know, modern house, right? They're really cool, these things. All purpose. And if you want to have a little bit of fun, right? If you're doing a truck yard, get, you know, like next to this, right? Let's do this right now. So let's go for the yard right here. We're going to surface paint using our concrete brush. It's okay if we don't really get too close to this. It can overlap partially. Maybe the concrete's kind of wearing out, right? And then let's show a little bit of a perimeter here. So we'll put in the fencing. And I don't think we're actually going to have drivers through here. This will be a static yard just for display. So let's turn off our snapping so we don't get locked onto weird stuff. And let's just build up a little fence through here. We'll keep some access so we can get a little truck and stuff. But we don't want people just kind of coming in from the outside, right? So we'll close most of this off. We could theoretically put a little fence over here, a little gate. You know, a little side access, or what do you want to think of it as? Or maybe this just goes to the end. Who knows? Want to keep it straight? Let's keep it the same node then. Holding left alt keeps us snapped in line with the rest. And again, we can close that off in a second. But yeah, just for the vibe of the container shipment over here, right? So let's get our trucks. These are more custom assets that I've downloaded. Oh, is that a truck? Oh, it's a gas pump. That's cool. Oh man, work trucks, these are so cool. These might be nice to have down here. Some trailers, this is definitely what we're going for. Wasn't exactly the one I wanted, but let's go ahead and plop these down. Because I was using the extra landscaping tools, it gives me more brush options. These only pop up though when I'm doing landscaping stuff. So sometimes your brush gets stuck on that when you want to do a single placement. That's you, going right back to that, perfect. So where were we, my friends? Right over here, of course. And then, like, you know, like what's plausibly easy for a truck to do, right? If this is our entrance slash exit, or if trucks are maybe sneaking through here, which is not a lot of room, I have to think another way through here, right? How would a truck come in? Maybe we'll come in do a little loop around here. So we can probably have maybe a couple, 3 or 4 trailers total over here. This might not be impossible for a truck to maneuver through. We are a little bit closing off the access here, which I would say isn't really all that accessible anyhow, so that's okay. But, you know, imagine, you know, a truck, it might reverse back through here. If we open this up too, a truck might reverse back in. You know, this might be enough room to swing a truck around. So we'll just keep that in mind. Trucks need a lot of room. If you play like Euro Truck Sim, American Truck Sim, you have those kind of vibes. You've turned one of those around, you know what's at stake. And again, for some variety, maybe we got a little dumper over here too. Okay, well the ones I was going for, which work really well with the containers, get a couple empty trucks just on this wall. Okay, very long list of trucks. I don't remember what to look for specifically, but it's basically like an open bed that you would drop one of the cargo containers like literally onto. So let's try trailer. Oh, that's not what I was looking for, but that's really cool too. Definitely for some wood, that's great over here. Put that with the other trailers. And let's move the dumper over. Let's try container. It's almost like I need a post-it note board for this stuff I'm downloading so I know what to search for. Oh, here we go. Yeah, here we go. So there's some container on trailers, and here's some empty trailer beds. That is perfect. A little tank to go with it. Like, you know, just some generic yard stuff here, right? And again, we're just keeping enough room and mentality so that maybe we can get a truck in here and turn it around. And then, you know, obviously it's the daylight, we don't have to worry about it now, but nighttime vibes. We have to make sure we've got lighting in here, so we can plop a little bit of that down as well. Let's put in some of these buildings. Big fan of the look of this. Maybe we can sneak something like that in. And if we do want a little bit of lighting, pedestrian access, maybe we put a little pathway through here. I don't think we'll get any cars through here though, and then we could just fence off. You know, add the detailing that just feels right. Maybe a little communication tower through here. That could be part of the you know, the DLC. And then just surface paint, right? And then more props would probably include some overhead, you know, loading, unloading, maybe a crane, something like that, just to get the containers up and off. But, I mean, that's principally what we're after, though, right? We got storage, we got trucks. We don't have the access yet, so we can work on that, but that's kind of cool. The beginnings of a yard over here. Kind of see how it just unfolds. You know, and you can mix this in with some yellow industry. We can zone over here as well. We can continue to do props. Like the Rico, all these buildings, they'll function as... yeah, as industry. You know, these modular ones especially look fantastic. So let's put all this down. I believe this is actually, I can do a search for it, and it comes down as one whole building already pre-assembled, or I can put it down modularly.
We have the perfect noodles for you.
So let's plop everything down and see how it looks.
To wedding noodles, all the way to those most final of noodles.
And then again, just move it mods to, oh, that's cool. Oh, that's so cool. Even just this configuration like that works. So let's pretend that this was one giant yard before. This is great. Push these two together.
One of all the letters we received today comes from Earth, from my old astrophysics professor, Aldous.
Cool. Now let's box this in, and we can even put a parking lot in the middle. And then, yeah, let's wrap things up after that. I think we're kind of going a little bit over for time, but our harbor area coming together rather nicely.
Across space, time, and matter. You are always welcome to a full-time position on the faculty here if you ever return to Earth. Take care, my friend. Love always.
You know, I think that's not too wide.
Dear Professor Lincoln, I don't know what to say. Please roll the next song.
Maybe we can pull this one sideways. And we'll give road access in between. Yeah, the finicky thing with these parking lots is attaching the road to it. And it's just parking lot roads. We've got the anarchy on. There's different types of roads. You have to download some additional ones. But do a little search for parking lot roads. Not too shabby. Probably only going to keep the one-way accessing that. But we will, however, have what looks like another way in over here. This one's more just a visual representation. You know, we'll put down the actual parking squares later. Not really going to worry about that just yet, but I'll show you how you would do that just in case this is your first time popping in. Just gonna throw down a little medical building over here, a little ambulance depot. Ties in the electricity as well, I believe. No, it does not. All right, you're going to this side. Even it just ties together temporarily. Okay, well, you want to be a troublemaker. That's fine by me. I will just zone you then for a few minutes. I'm probably going to keep a corridor of the heavy electrical cables through here. Okay, we'll let that zone as we go. And again, it's not like a broken record. I'm a little bit slow for the comments. They're just coming in at a really, really, really awesome pace. But keep them coming, guys. Really appreciate you dropping a comment, taking the time to write me something. If nothing else, at least I'm reading them. I'm trying to respond to a lot of them. I'm trying to throw down some hearts too. Don't want to seem like I'm just like hearting everything, you know? I don't know if that takes away from it or not, but just appreciate all your thoughts, guys. Really appreciate it. More than you even know. And again, it just helps the content come out. Like, you guys are so motivating. Not that you haven't been before, you know, it just more so now. It just seems like all the dots are connecting. Feels good. Okay, so if you're brand new to parking lot roads, it's actually a really cool mod. You can draw out your own parking lot, and the game treats them like, you know, roads, and cars will actually spawn and use them properly. So you download the different types, you draw them out like a road, and then with the proper anarchy on, you are just basically overlapping these in-game parking spots. And so the game kind of like, you know, signals a car to park here. And some of the pre-made batched ones are like super easy to work with. Others you can just put down on angles, work them in however you want. You can modernize it, make it accessible, you know, electric vehicle parking, accessible access. Not have to be a perfect science, that might be a little bit close there, you know, but our factory is ultra modern. We've got electric vehicle. And then these can be adjusted with the Move It mod. You can overlap some curb pieces. You can have like a little planter box in the middle. And it's just the lighter section. That's where the cars will drive. And if there's no parking spot laid down, no car will come. So if we want just to kind of show off something a little bit different here, we can put like a planter box in. Like one of these things, right? Actually, let's do the bricked one. You know, just whatever level of detailing you feel like you're comfortable. And then my advice would be to like keep that going throughout the city. Don't just have like one hyper detailed area. You gotta kind of commit to it. So you almost want to like plan ahead of time, like what level of detailing you want to commit to. And then again, don't think like you're in a rush. Like the city doesn't have to be built in a week or anything. Like I'm planning on playing this for like months, man. What's the hurry here? Anyway, guys, I think the whole point is just like make sure you're having fun when you play. I don't think this game should ever really be stressful or anything. Or if you feel like you just can't, you know, do what you're trying to do, just more time in the game, that's all. Or maybe start a little bit slower. Yeah, it's a skill-based game. The more time you put in, the more skills you'll get. And there's tons of resources and guides, and just feel free to give me a message. I'll motivate you, help you out. Even if it takes me the end of time, I'm gonna find this tree right now. This might be nice here. A little bushy. No. Actually, yeah, let's do a colored tree. But there's the thought process, right? kind of fun. Functional industry, we can close this off. We get, you know, shipments coming in. This kind of makes sense on the waterfront here. It's coming together, my friends. Coming together. Still a lot to do, just like everything in the city here, but yeah, so I think what we'll do when we continue this is we'll try to fit in some of the industry's DLC pieces. Get those bigger factories in over here. Also, we're going to occupy this part here between the rail and the highway. And then we're going to start trying to tie those in with some custom factory zones, you know, farms and whatnot, and then just keep on motoring. All right, guys, well, I'll see you again. Let's wrap things up here. Beautiful little addition to the city. I'm just so excited to see this go, so hopefully we'll see you guys either in the stream or another video. Drop me a comment, let me know what's happening in your end of the world. And just keep on smiling, guys. Stay positive. We'll get through this. You're so wonderful. I hope you're having a great day. All right, guys, we'll see you again. Happy building. Take care of yourselves.